Are you getting excited for November? If you aren't, then what I'm about to share with you, I think may change your mind a bit and certainly get you excited for what is coming in 2026. Hey, I'm Patty Lennon, intuitive mentor and a fellow human on the planet at this time, experiencing 2025 for the gift. I was going to say the crazy gift, but the gift that it is. So, this has been a year of completions. This has been a year of wrapping up things. This has been a year of endings and letting go and surrender. And that has been very much part of the divine design of this year. But we are not a species that likes things to just keep ending, especially if we don't feel like we have control for what we want to create. And this year was very much a year of learning how to lean into surrender and letting go of control. However, you navigated that, just know you did an excellent job. That is the number one message the angels wanted me to deliver in this month's predictions, is that we're very hard on ourselves. As humans are very hard on ourselves. And you most likely have been hard on yourself this year. And so it's very important to take this month especially and really honor what this month has been, or rather what this year has been, and take time in this month to really see it. Another thing they talked about when I sat down to get the downloads for this month's predictions is that we get to the end of the year and we hear a lot of messages about there's only this many weeks left in the year. Have you hit your goals, whatever those goals are? And we get this barrage of media messages that get us into this frenzied state of trying to do something by the end of the year, whatever it is, whether you're a business owner or you have a project or it's a money goal or it's a weight loss goal or whatever it is, whatever it is. And I challenged them on this. I said, yeah, I think we get those messages more like at the end of November, the beginning of December. And they were like, no, many people are already feeling like, what was this year? What did you accomplish? So they want you to take this month and really take stock of what you did. And where you are meant to look is, where were you holding on to things that were not good for you, that were not supporting you and weren't right for your soul, and you came to a place where you finally acknowledged that. That acknowledgement is huge. Telling yourself the truth is huge. And then if you took further steps to release it, to let go of it, whether it's a thought pattern or a habit or a relationship or a work situation, whatever it is, all that work you did was really big work, and they truly want you to honor that and really do an evaluation that's honest about that. Because at the beginning of the year, at that time, I was not putting predictions out here on this channel, but I did do them privately for my community. And the big message for 2025 was, don't try to create big new goals. This is not a year for big new goals. This is a year for finishing up projects. This is a year for putting periods at the end of sentences. This is a year of letting go, surrendering, honoring what is coming to an end in preparation for 2026. And the good news is 2026 has loads of juicy, yummy, good things, meaning new possibilities, new adventures, major shifts in your life are coming. This is a year of preparation for it, which is why this wasn't meant to be a year to birth new things. This was meant to be a closure, a letting go, like I've said, a weeding. You know, if we're looking at our life as a garden, pulling out the weeds, pulling out the things that are infecting the good stuff in our garden of life. And so as a result, it's now time not to judge yourself on what you didn't accomplish, but to really honor what you did, what you let go of, because whether you held on for dear life and it was ripped from your grasp, or you did it very gently and with a lot of consciousness, there's no judgment from the metaphysical realms. There's no judgment from the angels or your spirit guides, no matter how many funny reels you see pointing to the fact that your spirit guides are sitting there rolling their eyes at you, that is not how they feel. They know how hard this year has been on our egos. And that's really what this has been. This has been a wrestling match between your divine nature, which is your soul, and your ego, which is your human self that believes it is other, that it is it, that we are each of us individually and we're different than others. And we don't understand that we're all here and we all are one, right? We are all part of this bigger loving force. Well, this was a year to really pull that apart and really disempower the ego. And the ego likes power. The ego likes control. The ego likes to know it's safe. And so it likely put up some fights of that. Do not judge yourself because you wrestled with this. Do not judge yourself that you wrestled with feelings of limitation or lower energy frequencies like fear and shame and doubt and guilt. Those things were there. They came up so that they could be lifted out. They came up so they could be healed. And if you're seeing them, that means they're available to be released. And that is the number 2 thing that I was told to focus on, is this is a month of release as opposed to letting go. And the difference is letting go is a more active state. It's, for example, it might be looking around your room if it needs to be cleared and figuring out what has to go and then doing something with it, making decisions. Releasing would be like someone coming into the room and picking up something that has dust on it and saying, you don't really like this. And you're like, yeah, I kind of don't. And can I take it? Right? Then you don't have to actually do something. You just have to respond to the information. You just need to respond in an affirmative to what is going away, as opposed to in that same scenario, if someone said, you don't really like this, can I take it? And you're like, you don't like it, but then for some reason, probably guilt, you're afraid to let it go, right? And so then you say yes, but then they start to walk away with it and you start chasing after them, right? That's the role the angels and your spirit guides are playing. They're going to be taking things away that don't serve you, things that have dust on them, things that are just cluttering up the works. And all you have to do is be honest with yourself, and then they will float away. They will float away. Let them float away. Let them float away. Now, one of the images I was given, and we'll shift into the next theme, and it has to do with peonies. So if peonies are a sign for you, then I'm very happy to tell you that you've got a message coming. But whether peonies mean anything to you or not, this next one is for all of us. Before I move forward, I do want to remind you, make sure you subscribe to my channel, because we are all going through a shift over the next 2.5 months. We are shifting into a completely new dimension, vibration, whatever word you want to call it. And I will be putting out lots of content to support you as you go through this. We will have weekly assignments on how to move through this with the most grace and ease. And I don't want you to miss anything. So make sure you subscribe below. All right. With that, I was shown as one of the messages, and I don't always get things as visuals, but what I was shown was a field of peonies. Now, the thing that was interesting about this was I heard it first, but then I saw it. And as I saw it, it was as if a young child had drew it. It wasn't the detail of an actual live peony. It was just a very simple image, and it was a dark pink, which is the color of our souls. So I love that. And the message was that little bursts of joy, little bursts of abundance, little bursts of opulences, if that is the plural of the word, will be coming into your life this month. It will happen for everyone. And these are sparks of the juice of 2026 bursting through the soil. And so this might look like someone giving you a ticket to an event out of the blue, gifting it to you. Or it might look like you stepping outside when you thought it was going to rain and there is just bright sunlight bursting through the clouds, and it just fills you with a sense of potential. It might be you sitting and listening to something like this video, and all of a sudden, just a warmth comes over you from within, an angelic sense of peace and love. All of these things are bursts of energy coming to you from 2026, because the reality is the time-space continuum is an illusion, and all time and space is touching on itself. And right now, the potentiality of 2026 will be bursting through, but these will be bursts. These will not stay. And so they will be very temporary experiences. And the guidance is to really enjoy them in the moment and then just let go. Don't get attached to them. Don't be wondering, did I see the sign, or what does this mean, or any of that. Just enjoy them for the bursts of energy and the bursts of love and the bursts of joy that they are, because they are there to kind of pump that energy into your soul and into your psyche and into your energy body. So just let it do its work. Now, I did mention if peonies are assigned for you, there's a very special message for you, which is that when I get the downloads for these monthly predictions, generally speaking, they'll give me a high-level message and I'll question them on it and I'll get more details, and then I come and I deliver it to you. But occasionally, the way it'll start, rather than a high-level message, it will start with an image, and then I drill down to understand what they're delivering. I don't normally share those images because they're really just symbols to get the downloads. And yeah, this time they made a very specific request that I say this was a field of peonies, and then I described that this was a child drawing of these pink flowers, because some of you have been asking for a sign, and either the peonies or the child's drawing is going to be meaningful for you. So if that is you, please know that this sign was delivered through this video. And certainly if it was you, and that does land for you, because there's definitely more than one of you, drop me a comment below, because it really does help me know that the messages are getting to the people that need to hear them. All right. Now, one of the big high-level messages to give you is that November isn't just about November. November is part of a bigger energy system that is November into December into the start of January. I don't have an exact date, but I want to say like the 5th, January 5th, the 7th, something like that. So this is part of a bigger energy system, and the whole job for each of us in this November into December into the beginning of the January is into the beginning of January is to prepare for 2026, for what 2026 is bringing us, which is a big adventure, right? Of the best kind, just a big adventure. Possibility, shifts in your life are coming. So now if you knew you were going on a grand adventure, right? And you were going to take a backpack because you were going to travel lightly, you would want to know that the backpack was ready. So when you think about releasing, when you think about the work of this month into next month, think about, taking out that backpack and just going through it. Maybe there's an old ticket stub there from the last time you used it and you were on some ski lift, and you can just decide, am I keeping it or not? It might be that little burst of joy, right? But it can also be that thing to let go of. And so this is the minor clearings, the minor clearing out that's going to be done. And the backpack is a metaphor for your inner world, right? Just picking out the things that this is not me as light as I can be. This is hanging out. So this might be a responsibility that is not yours to hold, that you can let go of. And by let go, I mean in that releasing way, because of all of this harder work that we did leading up to the end of this year, we are much more prepared to release gently. And that's what this is about. It's don't overthink it. Don't wrestle with it. If a relationship isn't serving you, it isn't serving you. And, I was just doing an interview for a podcast that will be out in a couple of weeks, and I'll talk about it when it is out here. but I was talking to my friend Miriam, and she was talking about letting go of relationships, and that it isn't, where she's cut people off. It's that she stopped pouring oxygen into a relationship that was only going one way. So there really wasn't any active work that she did around this. She stopped overworking a relationship. And the minute she stopped constantly reaching out and checking on someone who wasn't giving her back that same energy, the relationship went silent, right? So it wasn't a matter of talking to that person even or cutting them off. It was just acknowledging the truth that this was a one-way experience where there was a lot going out of her, not a lot coming back, right? That's what it can also look like, is just honoring the truth of what is for you. And even if it's quite different than what you're used to. I had this experience just recently that was a little confusing for me. We went away to Cape Cod, my husband and I, for a little vacation, and it's one of our favorite places in the world. I love the seashore. I just love being there. And I even though I need our pool water to be like 84 degrees before I'll get in, I will usually get into the ocean really at any temperature. And I didn't even want to really sit at the ocean. And this started to concern me because the ocean is beautiful. Mother Ocean feeds my soul on a regular basis. And so I sat down in a little meditation to talk to the ocean and ask, had I done something to put, resistance between us or put a wall between us? And she said, no, you just need to be inland for a while. And then I started to get messages everywhere we went. All of a sudden, I realized that this was something I had been experiencing for a few months now, is where I'm an extrovert, I haven't felt extroverted. I've been pushing myself to be with people, but has not felt like my natural state. And even being near the ocean, as much as I loved looking at the power of the ocean and seeing her, it didn't feel like the energy that my soul needed. My soul needed very quiet, cocooned energy. And it's very possible that's the case for you. And so some of this letting go isn't necessarily letting go of a relationship that isn't feeding you. It could be this is not for you right now. The ocean is gorgeous and I love her. And I know she is an essential part of my life, but there is, for whatever reason that I don't need to understand other than to acknowledge the truth, I need to be inland. I need to be inland from any big moving energy now. And that also makes sense from the perspective of that I am getting a lot of downloads right now. I'm putting these videos out every week, and there's a lot of downtime to make sure I'm getting clear and clean energy and messages for you, as well as the people around me. One thing that I was told early at the beginning of the year, and I felt uncomfortable sharing it a lot of the time, although I think I've mentioned it maybe here once, is that the angels told me that when I took a sabbatical, which happened 2023 till sometime towards the end of 2024, which is a very challenging experience on some levels, going that disconnected from so many things. One of the reasons that I needed to do that was they were reworking some things because they were going to use my voice as a way to channel healing to others. And so if you have been ever listening to my content and all of the sudden you get this wave of love or this wave of release, or you start crying, but in the best way possible, and you're not really sure why, it's likely the angels are giving you a healing through my voice. But in order to do that, I need to be the channel for that, which means I need a lot of that inner quiet time. Someone had just messaged me over this past week when I was getting that message about stepping away from this bigger energy of the ocean and this bigger energy of big groups of people. And I was thinking, is this real? Am I just making this up to make myself feel better? And then I happened to look at email and I got this message from someone who had watched my reading of one of the chapters from my book, which I can drop that link below if you want to go check it out, because she had a spontaneous healing in the middle of listening to it. Did I heal her? No. Did even the words that I was saying heal her? No. But there was an energy that passed through that opened something inside of her that allowed the healing. And so many of us, this is not just me, this is for you as well. Many of us are being reimagined. We are being redesigned in a way to be the bearers of light, right? In this new world that we're going to be stepping into in 2026. These releasings that are happening, these shifts that are happening for you, again, it might not be something that is not working for you for good. It might be something really beautiful, like just not feeling attracted to the ocean at the moment. That doesn't mean that's not going to come back. It just means that's your truth for now. And your work for November is to honor it, because the easier you have in honoring it, then the easier it's going to be for those other bursts of joy to pop through. And for me, honoring that meant I was spending more time inland, which brought me to paths that went through beautiful groves of trees that I've really never explored on the Cape because I've been so ocean focused. So just know there is balance to all the work that you are doing. When we don't have a lot of external results to show for all the work we've done, it can be trying on our minds. So I want to invite you to drop a comment below and tell me, what have you released this year? Let's, as a community, celebrate that in each other, because being able to put it down here in writing and have it witnessed, it makes a difference. So share it below, because I'm excited for what you've done and I'm excited for what's coming for you. And with that, I want to leave you with one final message from the angels, which is they want you to know how incredibly proud and impressed and deeply in love they are with you. They want you to know that you have a legions of angels around you, and all you need to do is ask for help and they will provide it for you. You have free will, so there's only so much they can do until you ask. So make sure you ask, and ask often, because they want to support you. They understand what this journey has been like through this year, and they are impressed. They are impressed. All right. So in closing, I want to give you a few reflections to use in your journal, maybe, or just to think about, that will help you really ground in what is going on this month. So the first one is, if you knew something incredible was happening in 2026 for you, you knew it was coming, what's one small thought or an idea of a release or a energy that you could take on that would be preparing you for that big adventure? So that's number one. When was the last time you let yourself feel pure delight without worrying about what comes next or what it means? That's number two. And this third one I really like. Where in your body can you already feel that you have accomplished so much this year and that you have so much to be proud of in yourself? Where do you feel that? Really let that sink in. And understand, this is a month of gentleness. This is a month of bursts of joy. This is a month of release. And it is a month where you are protected and encased in love. And if you're looking for one other support, my very favorite go-to of emotional, physical support in the metaphysical realms is my cards, my oracle cards. Pulling cards every day is such a good grounding exercise. I talked about why that is in last week's video, so I'm just going to drop that below. I'm not going to go into detail about it, but I do recommend you check it out because it will be something that really gives you a tangible thing to do each day to help you connect to your soul, connect you to the love of the angels and the guidance of your spirit guides and your source. All right. And with that, I wish you an amazing, a beautiful November filled with all of that good stuff. And let's get excited for 2026. Mwah.